Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today I have got the lovely Nicola with me and I'm really excited to dive in and to chat to her today all about her business because she was actually the very first one-to-one client of mine that went through my one-to-one program in its original form. So Nicola, hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Good. I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
Can you just tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into the beauty space and, what your business is all about?
Yeah, so my name's Nicola, as Zara just said. I have a nail business called Oakwood Nails that I run from home. I haven't always been into business. I've only just been doing it for the past 2 years. So sort of over the COVID pandemic, I decided that I needed to switch careers because bookkeeping and accounts just wasn't doing it for me anymore. It's like quite different to what I do now. And I always just sort of used to do my mum's and my nan's nails and my own for like years. And then on my birthday, one of my birthdays, I think it was my 34th, mum bought me like a beauty case.
Yeah.
And so I could like organise all my gel polishes and everything. And I was like, I don't know, I quite like this. Like, I could do this for a living maybe. So just sort of started looking into nails and everything and then just got totally hooked by it. And I was like, I can't think of anything else. I got obsessed. So,
that's so nice. And is it just nails that you do at the moment?
Yeah, it is primarily nails. I went into limb pedicures as well, but I've been so busy with nails that I'm at the moment I'm not able to sort of fit that service in now.
You've just got to try and convert them over.
That's the only thing. Like literally, I'm not getting the hours to be able to book them in. So that one's just on the back burner at the moment.
Well, we'll see how that one goes. So when you first started the business, so obviously COVID has happened and then you decided to start around that time. What were you doing at the beginning to like grow the business and get in front of people? How was it going? I made like the social media pages that you do on Facebook and Instagram, just like quite bare, and was just posting photos of like my practice work and that sort of thing. And my mum's nails, like it's really hard to try and get people in through the door in the beginning, isn't it? It's like, come on, like let me try and do some nail art on you, that sort of thing, see if you like it. And it didn't really have any sort of structure to what I was doing. I was just posting photos and then onto like a couple of groups and just hoping that people would see it, but they didn't. So it was a real struggle. And you get really downhearted about it because you've done all that training and you think, oh, this is going to be really easy. Not easy, but people are going to want to try you, but it's trying to get in front of them, isn't it? Did you learn anything about that before we worked together? Obviously, when you trained in nails, this is something I always ask people. Did they teach you any of like the business
side of it at all when you learn?
No,
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 no.
nothing. That's the thing as well, because I was in a totally different industry. Um, I'd never worked in a salon or anything like that before. I trained on my own, like over the pandemic. So then trying to set up a business in a totally different field on your
Mm,
own was just like really hard. And like you don't know if you're doing the right thing. You
yeah,
just putting your finger in the air and just, hoping it's going to work.
I know. And I think everyone does that at first because the common answer to that question is no. Not many
Yeah,
people are taught these things when they learn how to do beauty or nails or whatever it might be. And I just think it's fundamental. You need to know because most people that come out of learning want to go into business on their own. They want to work for
exactly.
themselves, not like, let's not say normally, but like most people, there's a higher percentage. And I just think,
Mm,
why is that still missing in the
yeah,
industry? Where is that aspect of it? And
it's
why is
like,
it not here yet?
yeah, it's like you get taught sort of the basics, don't you? And then it's like,
Mm.
oh, there you go, off you go, you can
Yeah.
do it.
Yep.
Bye.
See you later. I remember when I trained my trainer, who was actually brilliant, but she kind of just said to me, this is the price range for this service. Like just gave me a range and said, you just get to that like top end when your experience increases. And I just thought, there's got to be more to it than that. Like that can't be
Yeah,
right. And that was all I really learned about, prices. And there was no, this is how you run the business. But interestingly, you were in bookkeeping and accounts, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So that's one really great thing because that's an
yeah.
advantage. Not many of us have got that level of understanding of numbers before we start our businesses in this industry. So that's
Mm,
actually super interesting. Do you feel
yeah.
like it helps you a lot?
It does help in like if you're looking back, for me personally, on what you've done in the year, to see what your profit is at the end of the year. But for day-to-day management, my confidence was not there to be like I'd work out what I think I need to charge, or at the beginning I wasn't even doing that. I was just looking at what everyone else was charging because I was too scared to work out
Yeah.
what I'd need to charge. It was just like I don't know, so I'm not going to look. I don't want to worry myself. I'll just charge what everyone else is charging in the area.
Mm.
um and but now I know, how I should be
Yeah.
doing it and having the confidence to then put those prices in.
Amazing. I'm glad that you've got that knowledge, but I do realize that it's just so interesting to me that you've just said you were still scared. And I remember when we worked together, I'll get into that in a minute actually. Let's talk about when we started working together actually. When
Mm-hmm.
when you were growing the business on your own, how did you feel about it when we started working together and everything kind of had to be changed? And, how did you find the processes that I put in place and the new way of working for you in comparison to what you were doing before?
Like a massive change, a massive mind shift as well, and a lot of work to do up front. But it's like you need to put a lot of work in first of all, because like anything you learn takes time, and it's hard to do, isn't it? But
Mm,
once you've started doing it and you start seeing changes, then it becomes easier.
yeah.
But it was a lot of work to do, but it was more structured work, and I knew what to do rather than, oh, I'll try this one time, it don't work, and then I think you start worrying, and then you try and do something else. But it just gave me more clarity on what it was that I needed to do.
Yeah. I feel like when we first spoke that you were already in a place of, if you don't mind me saying, you were already in a place of overwhelm,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like trying, because I've got like two little kiddies as well. I was trying to fit people in whenever they could get to me. Like I was doing so many evenings. I was even doing the Sunday evenings, and then trying to fit the kiddies in. Like my son was one, so there's that guilt as well of not spending that time with him, but then trying to, get clients in as well. So it's like you're being pulled at both sides.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so by that point, I was like, oh,
and then I probably would have given it up. I don't know. Like, you just think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you continue doing what you think is right and you're not getting the results, that's what does lead you down to the path of failure and feeling like you can't do it and quitting. And like I say failure because you'd quit. You don't fail if you keep going, you know, because eventually you're going to get to where you want to be. But when you quit, you've you know, that's a failed opportunity for you, isn't it? And it's just sad to see so many beauty businesses that actually that does happen to. I think it's in the 60-something% that happens to in the first couple of years.
High. Yeah.
Very high for this industry. And you know, it's interesting that you said as well about the working Sunday evenings, because I have been there. I'm trying to think because it's been a long time since I've worked a Sunday night. But I've been there, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions in the industry that you have to work evenings and weekends, isn't it?
Yeah. And all clients assume that when you're talking to them, they're like, oh, I bet you have to do like a lot of evenings because of people working. And it's like, well, some people might do that, might fit in with their lifestyle, but that doesn't with mine. And there are people during the day who want to get their nails done. You don't think that when you first start. But there definitely are, like, and people will make time as well and find a way of doing it if they really want them done.
Well, absolutely. I have friends who have office jobs, you know, normal, so I say normal, but 9 to 5 office jobs, and they will take out time during the day or whatever, even if they have to book it off as holiday, to go and get their brows, their lashes, their nails, their facials, their tanning, their whatever it is, laser, semi-permanent makeup, everything, because they want to go to who they know, who they trust, and that person doesn't work evenings or weekends, or maybe they have 1 or 2 late nights or whatever, which I think is kind of a good way to be, because adaptation and like flexibility and all that is fine. If you've got the availability to be that way, then fine. But if not, and you really are, you know, you close at 6 or 5, whatever, then I think you can do it. It's just finding those clients that want it, and there are so many out there. It's what was I thinking about the other day? It was somebody wanted to quit their day job and they couldn't, because they said they couldn't fill their diary with their, you know, daytime clients. And I just wanted to shake them, because it's like, yeah, of course you can. You just need to do it so that then you can fill it. You've got to be there. You've got to be available for it, and then you'll fill it. There are so many people out there that want their appointments during the day.
Yeah.
So that's changed for you now, hasn't it?
That changes sometimes as well. Like when say I've got like an evening person, like, so I work 2 evenings during the week, and sometimes they'll say to me, oh, in the summer, and like if they're teachers, they're like, I'll come during the daytime if you want. And they actually try and help you out sometimes. And then, you know, if something's happened and I've had to cancel an appointment, I hardly ever do that, but if I've really had to, and then I'll say, I'll do this extra evening for you. So like, I'm flexible as well with them, as well as them being flexible like with me.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, because there needs to be that mutual respect, doesn't there? I always talk about the fact that you can't expect everything from clients, like, you know, no reschedules, no cancellations, if you're a flaky tech. You just can't do it. And the funny thing is, that does happen. So yeah, but it sounds like you've got great respect there with your clients. So what happened? So when did you start seeing the results when we were working together?
I would say literally a matter of weeks. I would be getting, because I was being more specific in my posting and more consistent, people were seeing them more, and they were taking more notice, and it was speaking to them more than what it was before, where I was just posting a photo and not really putting anything underneath. So I suppose I was a bit more personable maybe on the post than what I was before.
Yeah. So it only took you a few weeks to actually change those hours that you were filling?
And the hours, I was a lot more, what's the word? Strong.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah. In my, you know, my policies and my boundaries with when I was going to work.
Yeah.
So I think because you had told me to be like that, I felt that I could be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought, oh yeah, what am I doing? Like when you pointed it out, like, you're working these hours. Why are you working these hours if you don't want to do them? And then you're like, oh yeah, why am I? It's okay to not work those particular hours. So
it just gave me the confidence to just say no.
Good. Yeah. Change it around. I think I was writing down all of your goals, and I remember it. And I was writing down your hours, because you had 1 week where you were doing certain hours, and then the next week was slightly different, wasn't it? So it was like 1 week on.
Yeah, it's like gradually had to change it.
That was it. And I remember saying to you, like, what you working at the minute, and you were so unhappy in like taking that time away from the kids, I think, weren't you? It was like cooking dinner was a rush because you had to then sort out for clients. And I was just like, well, if that's not what you want to do, why are you doing it? So for all the listeners, I just want to let them know that I didn't just tell Nicola just to do this.
Stop it now.
Stop this, do that, and listen to me. No, it's all about the alignment in your business. So if something feels good for you, then absolutely fine. I tell people, go for it. If you want to work all the week, or the weekends, or the evenings, or the whatevers, go and do it. But if you are a mum of 2 little kids and you want to be able to cook dinner and then wind down and read them bedtime stories, don't do it, you know. and it's funny because so many people say, well, I can't just not do it, but the proof is in the pudding. You did do it and it panned out okay. You know, nothing bad happened. You filled the diary and the rest is history, so they say. So do you think, I think your clients must have noticed a bit of a change in you then, mustn't they?
Yeah, I think they knew that I was a bit more sort of set on my hours then. They had a better idea of knowing that when they could book in again. And I just felt more confident in myself when I was talking to them. And, you know, when we do visualizations and things like that at the beginning, I just had a clearer goal and image in my head of where I wanted the business to go. And I was just going to work towards it. And So I remember last year when we were doing the visualizations, it's like one of the very first things we did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And and my salon wasn't built on the side of the house yet, but literally when I walk out to my salon now and look at the view from where my chair is, I can see my back gate, like where clients come in.
Yeah.
And I envisioned last year that I would be fully booked. I'd love my job. People would come in that I love to see, and I'd be excited to like do their nails. That's what I envisioned when we were doing the practices that we were doing. And literally that's happening now. Like the same picture that I was seeing is what I'm seeing now. And that's freaky. Like it's like, it's so strange that it actually worked.
Yeah. It gives me the goosebumps listening to you say it. When I do this with everybody and we work on the visualizations and things, I actually, when we talk through it and people get really emotional, I get really emotional as well for them.
Yeah, because you're like, I really want this for you.
I do.
You can do it. And it's so strange. It is one of those things. It's like a premonition thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It does. If you focus on these things as much as you possibly can, if you believe them to be true, the brain begins to help you create it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
it's
halfway
amazing
to get there.
Yeah.
I felt a bit lost before because I always thought, I don't know where this is going to go. And you just you don't feel as confident, even when you're just talking to them, when they say about your business. And
I remember you telling me that and having I do, yeah. And you were talking about how it's the conversational aspect of it. You were kind of like, I don't know if I'm coming across too chatty or not chatty enough. And I think actually it's kind of an interesting topic to talk about, because I bet so many people think about that when they come into this industry. Like, how do you talk to a client that you're holding their hands practically, or maybe you're touching their face, or whatever treatments people do out there, in your case holding their hands, you know? And I think, isn't it funny that we stress about these things so much when really we can just be ourselves and that will be fine.
And that really come with like practice and, you know, months and months of doing nails. Like I still sometimes think, oh, I might be being a bit quiet, or I don't really know what to say. But then I think, well, I have got to concentrate as well. And then I think you sort of, if clients want to talk, they'll sort of lead the conversation and you can gauge that way, rather than if you try and start the conversation all the time and they're giving you one word answers back, you can just take it that they just maybe want a quieter appointment.
Yeah.
And I think it's only from having so many different clients that you find that out.
It is, yeah, because they're all different. And I remember when we put on your price list, not price list, what's it called? Booking system, about is it a silent service that you put on there if they wanted that?
Yeah.
We did that too, didn't we? Just to like make you feel better about it as well.
Yeah, that really helped.
If they tick that box, then at least you know up front they want a silent service or they like to relax or whatever. I think that's the best thing you can do as well, is for you to have an expectation of how that client's going to be when they come into your doors, is, you know, do all the things up front, like the consultations and everything, so that you can get an idea and ask the questions that you want to ask on that consultation. It doesn't all have to be like, what's your nail type or what's your skin type? It could be, you know, like, how do you prefer to, what's the word, you know, what's the word? I need a good word.
You're doing me now.
I need a good word for this. You know what I mean? How do you prefer to relax in your appointments? I.e. silent service, or are you chatty, whatever. But there's ways you can word it on consultations, and I think that's a good idea to set yourself up for the right expectation of that client if it's somebody new. It's just ways of being able to help yourself, really, isn't it?
Exactly. And it always reminds you as well, like the next time they come back.
Yeah, exactly.
If you forget, you're like, oh yeah, I'll go and look back on it.
I used to keep notes on my clients.
Like kids, husbands, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good to be able to look at just a couple of one-liners about them. If you can't remember off by heart, if you've got loads of clients, it's nice to be able to say, okay, I remember that, you know, Mary's got 2 kids and her husband's name is this, you know, that type of thing. Or they've got holiday coming up to, you know, the Bahamas in October or whatever. I think that's always nice. So I wanted to ask you about your biggest limiting beliefs that you had before we actually started the program.
I would say my timings on how long I took to do a set of nails. And it was
what was the belief around that?
That I thought that the quicker you did them, the better.
Yeah.
So then when it comes to costing and things like that, you can get a bit confused, and I think you can undersell yourself that way if you start putting your rate per hour down and then you see, oh, I'm going to be taking all this time, I should only be taking this. But then, you know, I know now that a set of nails takes me about, depends, 1.5 to 2 hours.
Totally normal.
Yeah, it's a normal thing. But speaking to people before, they'd be like, oh wow, that's a really long time, and then that would make you feel, oh gosh, like I'm never going to get it under that. And if I want to do a good job and I want the nails to last like 3-4 weeks, then you've got to take your time prepping them and making sure the structure's right, because otherwise they're going to come off and then the clients aren't going to be happy. They've got to either pay sooner or come back and have them repaired. And it's just being confident in that nails do take time, and the confidence to tell people, like clients, yes, they are going to take 2 hours, but that is normal for a set of hard gel nails.
Yeah, especially if you're extending. And I love what you just did there, because you spoke about the limiting belief, and as it was that's how you felt, and then you did what I would normally teach people to do, which is to flip that around and figure out, well, what would be the kind of the problem if it didn't take that long. Like, you know, what would be the backlash if that didn't happen, you know, and why should they come to you because of it? And, you know, all these things. And I really like the way you did that, because you're just like, well, actually, I needed to do this because it's come off. And that's a really good way to keep flipping your negative, like, mindset or limiting beliefs over to a positive energy. Also, what I wanted to ask you was, because you just touched on it there as well. And by the way, I think when it comes to pricing any service in the beauty industry, the time it takes you is just the time it takes you, right? And until that time changes, don't change the price because it takes you apparently too long or whatever, because that's not the way you run a business. You know, it's just not. There'd be no other industry or any other service provider that would say, oh, because I'm too slow, I'm going to reduce my prices, or because I'm working more, I'm going to earn less. That makes absolutely no sense, does it? Do you know what I mean? So, I wanted to get that out there before we move on. But you've touched on it anyway, and I wanted to ask you because I know that when we were talking about your prices in the beginning, it was such a huge thing for you. And I'm all about helping people earn more and, you know, work less if that's what they want to do. But when we spoke about upping your prices, you were so scared. I think it was one of the hardest things that we went through. So how did it pan out for you?
Well, it went fine. All that worry and all that stress. And I just had it clear, like on the spreadsheets, you know, why my prices are what they are. You know, when you put everything together, that gives you the confidence to put them up. And I think people understood as well. And I think if they don't, then they'll go and find somebody else who's, you know, within their price range, and that's fine. Like, everyone wants something different, don't they? Not everybody's the same. So you need to price, you know, for the clients that want your service.
Yeah.
And that can afford your service. So it wasn't like I was trying to be the cheapest in the area, because I ended up being the most expensive. And for someone like who's just been in the industry for a year, it would have been then.
Yeah.
But knowing that I had the skill there, my nails were lasting, they were able to have the nail art that they wanted. That's what gave me the confidence to do it, because I knew that it was worth it.
Yeah. I also think that your work is stunning, and the products that
thanks.
you use, I think it is though. And you can tell, you know, if somebody came to me, let's just say, and said, Zara, you know, Upsell was helping them and they wanted to increase their prices, if they weren't good enough nail tech or whatever in the beauty industry, I would probably tell them and just say, there is, you know, there's a skill element here. And if it's not there, then that does need to be worked on before you can go and increase from something that your audience is used to and your clients are used to. And I only say that because, and it's probably the only time, and maybe even the first time publicly I've ever said that, to be honest with you, but I think it goes without saying. It's quite obvious. If you are good at what you do, then you can charge whatever you want, because your time is, you know, valuable, your skill set is valuable, the money that you invest in yourself and all of this. Now, if you're okay at doing the service, again, you're still fine. I believe you can still earn whatever you want to earn because you're still okay at doing the set. It's not, you can speak to clients and tell them, this is my remit. I'm not going to go crazy and do this crazy artwork, or I'm not going to extend, or I'm not going to whatever, because that's not within your skill set. Fine, but you're still qualified and you're still good and you're still okay. It's only if the quality of work was like, you know, really bad that I would be like, oh, okay, hold up a minute, let's do this. But generally speaking, as soon as you're qualified, charge what you should charge to earn a profit, because it's still, you're running a business and you're qualified and you're good at what you do. You know, you can do what you do. So I think that's all it comes down to. But your work is stunning. So that's the thing, when it comes to providing a service that's even higher than the average and slightly more luxury than the average, and those products that you use, they are, that's when you start thinking, well, I'm worth even more. You know, you really are. Your work is amazing. Your clients must absolutely love it.
And that's the thing, it becomes your life as well. So it's not even the time that you're sat there doing the nails. Like, I'd be making dinner and I'm researching stuff. Like, I just got so obsessed with it and just wanted to be so good at it. Like, if I'm going to do something, I want to be, you know, the best I can be at it. So it's like, you know, I'm always running my business because I'm always, you know, researching and practicing, and
yeah, you are. You are. But I'm really proud that you just did it and you upped those prices and no one complained. I remember having some feedback from you on a form once that said, I've upped my prices and there's no one that's made any bad comments, or no clients have dropped off or something like that. And I was just like, yes.
I do need to do it this year though. I need to do that now.
Do another increase. So how would you do that? So for everyone listening, Nicola, how are you going to go about that?
I'm going to get my spreadsheets out and I'm going to look at my cost per services, look at all my overheads, training that I've done this year, just get everything down on the spreadsheet, you know, think about what I want to earn per year, break that down into weeks, hours, and then, you know, align that with your services. It's a bit more than that, isn't it? Like, it sounds like you just do this, this, and this, but yeah, actually sit down and work it out line by line.
Yeah, working out your prices. Yeah, what it needs to be. That's the key. Not what you think it should be, not what someone else is telling you they charge, nothing like that. What it actually needs to be. When you do it properly, and all of those things you've spoken about are absolutely true, that's what you have to work out. Overheads, cost per service, time, everything else, marketing, budget, training budget, all of those things that you've spoken about. Then you know what number you need to be at and where your profit lies, really, don't you? So it's all in your control, and that is what I love. Question for you. When we met, I believe we met over Instagram because of our love for a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really lovely. And we just started chatting, didn't we, I think? And then what made you choose to work with me? Because there's many other options out there. You know, could have carried on doing it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. That would not be good. Or it would have taken me a lot longer. A few meltdowns on the way. Because you're just so easy to talk to, I think. You just, you know, and you've got a family as well. So I thought, you know, you're in the same position and you've worked in beauty for so many years as well. You must know what you're talking about. So I was like, yeah, like Zara knows how to run a business and be successful. So I want a bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. When you have that, it's the same with me and my clients like you, the common ground, the kids, the family, you know, being in the industry doesn't helps as well, you know, because I think that's great. Because it just allows me to know my clients on a better level. But it's the same with you, isn't it? It's like your relationship with your ideal clients, there's got to be that common ground, hasn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Good. But it was incredible working with you, honestly, because everything I said to you, let's look at this, let's do this. Or if that doesn't align, let's maybe tweak it to this. I feel like you did everything I suggested or tweaked it to what worked for you. But how did it work? Obviously, you've just spoken about the kids, and I think you can probably hear mine in the background now, can't you?
No, I can't.
You can't.
Upstairs.
Oh, God, for that. There's children in the background because it's no, it's not half term. It's summer holiday.
Yeah.
Which is just, you know, carnage. Mum life. Yeah. So how was it? You know, you just mentioned that we're both mums. How was it to run everything amongst the madness and the kiddies and the home life when we were working together and you had to take on new strategies?
I suppose it was hard first of all because you got to put the time and the effort into learning new strategies. But I knew there were strategies that were, you know, I trust you and I knew they were going to work. So it's worth it. And then once I'd started implementing them, you know, getting more of my ideal clients in, you haven't got the stress anymore of trying to get people in. So like the time that I was with my kids, I wasn't thinking, oh, you know, how am I going to get myself out there? You know, stressing about what to do next for advertising. I could actually spend that time with them and relax and like be in the moment a bit more with them rather than worrying about the business. So it was like you have that time where you work on the business and then you can separate that time that you then have with the kids. So you can, you know, get a better work-life balance that way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to ask you. Do you think it gave you a better work-life balance?
Definitely. Having those evenings back and knowing when you're going to work, you can plan things with the kids as well.
Yeah, that's another big one. Saying that now you have a better work-life balance, can I just ask you, obviously you don't need to go into detail with this, but are you earning more though?
Yes. Yeah.
So you have a better work-life balance, but you're taking in more income. What more is there that you could ask for, you know?
It's like you're not doing I was doing services before that would give me a bit of the ick. Not the ick, but like you just feel like I'm not feeling fulfilled in what I'm getting for this. So then it's sort of, I don't know, it's hard. You just think,
I should be charging more, but
Yeah.
I'm not. Why am I not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that has the ick in any aspect of their business? Like, because obviously you've gone through such a change, and now I'm assuming that your business, you absolutely love it. I take it that you don't have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone that's thinking like they have to continue in doing what they're doing, but they're getting the ick like numerous times a month
You
about,
have to change something.
yeah,
Something's then got to change. If it doesn't, it's not aligning with you and what you envisioned your business to feel like, then it means that something's got to change.
absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that. I think that's amazing advice, because if we all start this business with a vision in mind, at some point we can lose that vision, lose sight of that vision quite easily. But we start it by thinking like, this is why I want to do this. It's going to give me this. So I think if it's no longer giving you that, what are you going to change? What kind of boundaries do we need to incorporate? What kind of policies? What kind of structures? So
Exactly.
so glad that you said that. Is there anything in particular that you can think of other than your working hours that you changed?
It's my working hours and the prices. I suppose as well being more organised and sort of journaling, just being in the right mindset sometimes for the day, for the working day, and with getting clients that align with me, because you enjoy your day more, like you feel more comfortable with them.
Yeah.
I think,
And all your time with these people, so you may as well.
exactly, every 3-4 weeks for 2 hours at a time at least.
Exactly. You may as well enjoy them. You need to enjoy them, don't you, to have a good vibe, I think.
And sometimes like they might not click with you as well, so if they're not comfortable with you, then this works both ways, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And if you're doing all the things, we worked on your ideal client for some time, and all of these things. If you're doing all of that anyway, I think it progresses over time. Do you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
it can change.
like literally, it's like they are people that are like you, or that bring out the best in you. Like they might not be exactly like you, but you just like vibe off each other, and it's easy.
Yeah. I love that you just said that they bring out the best in you.
Yeah, I found that because I'm quite a quiet person, so I've got some like really confident clients and like really chatty as well, and it's actually made me more chatty, like more expressive as well.
Yeah.
It's weird, I don't know what it is, but I was so quiet, like from doing accounts and bookkeeping, I was just used to sit there looking at numbers and not really talking to anyone. So the thought of doing nails where you need to talk to people all the time used to frighten me, and that was a big thing initially as well. So sometimes like other people give you confidence.
Yeah, I love that, because so many people will be thinking as well that the beauty industry or the nail industry, it's full of people who are extroverted and confident, out there, can speak to people, and there's definitely a place for people who are more introverted in this industry. I don't think there has to be this stereotype of being out there and being more confident than anyone else. It's like you say, you attract the people that vibe with you. So I love that you mentioned that. That'll give some people the confidence that they're in the right place, even though they might feel a little bit more shy or a little bit more quiet, not as handsy and loud as me or whatever. And, it's just so nice that there's such an array of different people out there. And it's true that you'll attract, obviously, those ones you.
And if we're all the same, the world would be boring. The world would be a boring place.
It would be. So in regards to the program and working with me then, what were some of your happiest moments, or should I say, what were some of your happiest wins from the program?
Just having clients book in and then rebook in, and being able to have a bit more of a steady flow of people, like a bit more predictability of my work in the next coming weeks/months. Like it started getting more secure and stable because people were rebooking more.
I remember you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, I remember that you were fully booked up until the following month. And we were just so proud of that moment. I remember that vividly, that you were like, I'm fully booked until like the next month. And I was like, well done you, because you've put in all that hard work from start to finish and gone through all the strategies and all of the back work behind the scenes and everything else, that you deserved it. You know, you really did. And I just love to see it, that you get fully booked with people that you love.
And it's like January time as well. I always used to be told, you know, January's going to be slow, January's going to be quiet, like you need to expect it, sort of thing. It's normal. And you know, last January I was fully booked, and now I'm really fully booked. My wait list is full, so I haven't even got a wait list anymore.
I love that. Do you know, it's incredible to see. It warms my heart. It really does, because
compared to this time last year,
you absolutely deserve all the success. And, you know, because you put in so much thought and effort into everything in your business. It's, you know, it's also how you earn a living, right? And it's so important that you earn a decent living out of this. And now you do. It just honestly lights me up so much, and it gives so many other people inspiration that they can go and do this too, and they can earn a living out of it, and they can be fully booked in January, you know. And all of my clients tell me that they're still fully booked in January, and I just absolutely love that, because the more and more people that have this mindset that, no, do you know what, that's not normal. And I've seen it in the comments before in groups where someone will say, oh, don't worry, that's normal, and someone else will comment below now going, no, it's not normal, I'm fully booked, you know, blah blah blah. And I think, yes, keep going with that, people. Keep going with that attitude.
Exactly. Positive attitude.
Absolutely. I just love it. It's one of my favorite things, shall we say. So what would you say to anyone that's on their beauty business, just starting out at the moment, just starting their journey, or maybe they've been on this journey for a little while now, but they are kind of in the position that you were last year?
I'd probably say that things, probably if you're struggling, maybe you just need a little bit of help with like your vision, like just a bit of a guide of what to do and a plan. You know, when you very first finish your training, it is really hard, and it knocks your confidence when people don't come back, but to keep going with it and to have in your mind where you want to be, what you want things to look like in 3 months or a year's time, and just keep visualizing that. And also like connect with people online on social media who know what they're doing, who've been there, and because there's so many people who are like willing to help. And also like now text in your own area as well, like don't try and think, oh, it's me against everyone else. Like try and work with them, try and get chatting to them and support each other, because it's lonely when you work on your own.
It really
like
is.
Having that bit of a network even within your local area, because there's enough hands to go around everyone. So like it's just good to build each other up and just, you know, just connect with people, get socializing, and get help from people who know what to do as well.
I think that's a really good idea. Get help from the people who know what to do. I've repeated that because so many people try to get help from people around them, you know,
like family
parents. Yeah. And what that does is it can kind of hold you back, or it can also make you want to quit, because what happens is they see that this is stressing you out. They see that it's hard work. They see that it's, you know, something that you haven't really got to grips with yet. And they think, well, if this is stressing you out and you've not quite done it yet or whatever, maybe this isn't right for you, or maybe, you know, and that's just because they love you and they want to keep you safe, and they don't want you to feel disheartened. They don't want you to feel like, you know, whatever. And that's just not helpful, you know? So sometimes you can't rely on the people around you to bring you up and help you and keep pushing you forward. You need to rely on the people that you choose. Like you said, go out there and make connections, look for communities that light each other up and actually help each other. And like you said, there's so many people out there willing to help.
Yeah, exactly. Like people do want to help people, and don't be afraid of asking for help or too proud or anything like that, thinking, you know, I can't. You can. and it's best to.
I love that. I love that. So what I wanted to ask you as well, just before we finish up, we kind of, on this podcast anyway, I want people to understand that I get super serious when it comes to business, but when it comes to putting yourself out there, I don't believe that you can ever take yourself too seriously. So what I want to wrap up with, actually there's probably one more question after this, but what I want to ask you is, do you have anything kind of particularly funny or something that you've grown from, that's happened in your business while building it?
I'd say this was pretty recently.
What are you
I
laughing at?
hasten to add. Well, you know how you put gems, you know, how you would sort of encrust gems onto nails?
Yes.
One of my clients, she's been with me for quite a while, which is a good thing. She had a crack on the side of her nail, which was quite low down. So we needed to fix it. And I didn't want to just put a natural fibre sort of gel on. I wanted to put a silk layer on too, patch. So I put the gel on, and then I'm trying to get the patch to lie down flat. It didn't want to lie down flat, and I'm getting all het up. And I was like, do you think you could just hold it down with your tweezers for me, or with my tweezers for me, while you put it in the lamp? She's like, yeah, sure. So she put it in the lamp, and then she took it out, and then she sort of like handed me her hand, and then took her hand off of the tweezers, and it didn't move. And we both just had this split second where we looked at each other, and we both at the same time just went, oh dear.
Oh dear.
And it was so just funny. Stuck there, and I was just like, all I had to do though, because it was such a thin layer of gel, I just sort of twisted the tweezers and they come off. But in that split second, we were just like, that was a bad choice.
Yeah. At that point, you're just thinking, how did I even think this was going to be a thing?
Yeah, like, how did I think this was going to work? Like, that's how you put gems on nails. Like, I then created a new 3D set with tweezers, so I was quite proud of them.
I mean, not very practical, but definitely innovative, let's just say.
Yeah, it's a new look. I started a new trend.
I love stuff like that, because some people would just panic, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, inside I was panicking like hell, but like
you can always fix these things. That's the thing. I feel like, nothing crazy ever happens. And do you know what? Even if something crazy does happen, it's always about how you deal with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, even if something did go actually wrong, like, that's not wrong at all. That's just hilarious. Me and my clients would have laughed at it too. But even if something went wrong, I just think at the end of the day, it's how you deal with it, isn't it? Because we're all humans. So
yeah, like, we all make mistakes and everything, and
we do.
If you own them, and it's fine. We laugh now when anything goes wrong. Like, we just like, oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh, it brings you closer to your clients. So I like that. That's a good story. Thank you. Oh. So tell us, Nicola, my lovely, what are your goals for the future, and where can people find you and your gorgeous work, please?
I'd say my goals are to, first of all, sort my prices out again.
Yes.
I do want to get into nail competitions. That would be fun to explore.
Oh yeah.
I can't really, like, my little boy is sort of starting school in September, but my working hours are a bit limited still at the moment, because he had a diagnosis last year, so it meant that I couldn't work too much. So on that front, things are a bit unknown. So I just want the business to sort of carry on as it is, sort of organically, see where it takes me. And when I'm a bit clearer in that sense, family-wise, then I can go back to the business and see what I want to do there. But I do, in the future, I'd love to go into sort of teaching and training. That'd be good, like, to help people.
I was going to say, I've noticed that you are already helping people through your social media, aren't you?
Yeah, like, people who are starting off, I do quite often get messages from people who are starting their nail business, and they just, have a bit of a query on why something's not working or what to do on a situation, which is nice. It's nice to, I know what it was like first starting out.
So
Yeah.
you do feel like you want to help people because you know what it feels like.
Yeah, definitely. But like you say, I think that is probably one of those things that you will get into teaching, and
Yeah.
you've got to put it on the vision board, haven't you? And think about how you're going to do it and just make the decision to actually go after that next goal.
Yeah.
And at the moment, with the business being so busy with, a full wait list and everything else, and the children and your little one having the diagnosis, I think it's just nice to hear you say that you want to put that first and see how that goes, and like keep going the way you are until it kind of pans itself out, because it's so important that you are present at home as well. And it's admirable that you do both. I always say to people that, women who raise babies, we can have it all. Sometimes we have to have it all at different times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a time, and sometimes your energy has to be somewhere else, doesn't it? When he was first diagnosed, my clients, like I wondered whether I'd still carry on with the business because it was such a big shock for us. He's got type 1 diabetes, so it's not, I put it out there, like it's a massive sort of change in the family. So it sort of all broke down at that point when he got the diagnosis, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do now. But clients were so understanding and waited for me to be able to come back, and we've built it up again. And if anything, it's nice to go to work to get that break.
Yeah.
So I think as the balance is now at the moment, that's right for us. And we just see how things go and see how he goes, and
no, it's lovely that as well, like you just said, you can put things on hold now. It's nice to hear you have the confidence in yourself to be able to say, I've then been able to got it back going again. And for some people that would just be so scary and really hard to kind of like maneuver. And I think it's a really important thing you've touched on, that you should be able to kind of pivot your business every time something comes up. You should be able to have that control over your business. And in this industry, we are kind of dictated to by our clients a lot of the time. So you've done so well in getting to that stage where you do feel like you have that control. You can then, as I used to say, I could ramp it back up, and get it back going again. And it sounds like you've got that nice, healthy control. And I love that. So it's good. Great. It's great to hear. And I hope everything does go all right, obviously, in the upcoming year with little one. And it's good to hear that you've got that more under control and everything, because I know it can be a massive, massive lifestyle change, can't it, for everybody in the house, really, when someone's diagnosed with type 1. So,
definitely. We're managing it.
You're managing. You're doing great. You're such an inspiration doing it all, running the business, having the babies to look after. Not that they're babies anymore, but they're at school ages, aren't they? So you're just under and just over. Is that right?
My eldest is 8 and Harry's 4. So
same as mine, 7 and 4, and then I've got the little one that's going to be 1. So
oh my gosh,
I know, crazy, isn't it?
gone so quick.
I know, it does go quick. But I just literally love hearing from you and everything that you've achieved from. Also, let me just say, you have not been in business a very long time, right? You've achieved so much. I think what you've achieved probably took me like 6 years to achieve.
Oh my gosh.
Well done, you.
Oh, thank you.
You just
it was not without your help. If I didn't have your help, then I wouldn't be where I am. And thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to work with you. I absolutely loved it. And thanks for coming on here with me and telling all of our lovely listeners about your journey. So I'm hoping that most people will be super inspired by our conversation today and by all of your success. I'm pretty sure most people will probably want to have a full wait list as well. So if anyone wants to find you and follow you and look at your gorgeous work, where can they do that, please?
On Instagram at Oakwood Nails, and Oakwood Nails on Facebook as well.
Perfect. Keep it simple. I like it.
Yep. Short and sweet.
Brilliant. Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for joining me, my lovely. And thank you to everybody for listening today. All of the details from today's episode will be in the description. So you can find Nicola, you can have a little follow, and you can see her gorgeous work. But thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.